God has truly been good to me. He has sent an angel from up above, and I'm so thankful to know someone so beautiful. I won't let you go or live my life without you. 'Cause every time I look into your eyes, I just thank the Lord 1,000 times. Finally I found the one that
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Black Girl Joy. And today is an extra special sentimental episode for me. We're talking about tapping into your limitless motivation. So I'll share with you guys, I'm always transparent. When I started this and I scheduled this, I was thinking about February is the biggest month for giving up on your goals. You set New Year goals in January, February, you stop going to the gym. That's kind of how it happens. And then it's Black History Month. How much motivation do we get from all the quotes and all the sayings and the pictures and the history that we read on Black History Month? The first word of this show is Black, right? That's why we're here, Black Girl Joy. And then lastly, today is actually the 3rd anniversary of my mom's death. And she was one of my biggest inspirations, and her whole passing serves as motivation for this show, as motivation for me to try to find my Black girl joy. And so I'm going to welcome a very special guest. Here she come, y'all. Here she come. We're going to talk about motivation and how to find those motivations during those difficult times, those challenging times when we want to give up. Miss Tara, are you ready? There she go. Hey.
What's up? Hey, girl.
Hey. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on. I have looked at your Facebook and I just got connected with you on social. And I was like, she always posted about motivation. I need to do a show on motivation. Let me just try. Y'all should see how I write emails for people to join. Well, if you would come on. So,
it's professional. It's so professional.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you and say I appreciate it before we even get started.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I just want to start with a basic question. What do you consider motivation?
The drive behind why we do what we want to do. You know, I get up every single morning, you know, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, more than that sometimes, trying to motivate myself to do the things that I know I need to do in order to get the things that I want. So it's just, to me, motivation is just the drive, the reasoning behind we do the things that we do.
So do you ever struggle to maintain motivation to do those things you want to do?
Do I? Girl, yes. So a little nugget about me, and a lot of people don't know, my family does, but I'm back in school. I'm in grad school right now. Oh. And I am not getting, my crazy self didn't jump into one master's program. I jumped into a dual master's program. Oh. So I am pursuing 2 master degrees. And when I tell you that, 1, I am the queen of procrastination. And 2, sometimes I question myself daily. Why in the world did I decide to go back to school? So every single day I am motivating myself to get up and do it, because I know what my end game, what I want my end game to be. So I have to motivate myself every single day just to do that. I have to motivate to do other things as well. But just this particular topic, yes, ma'am. Every single day I'm up motivating myself, trying to get it done.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I always think about when it comes to motivation is how we think of it as just like this magical thing, right? Like motivation feels like motivation when it feels real good and you got that tingly feeling and you all inspired and you like, I'm gonna go do this. But like I said, by the time people get to February, right? So you get through that first little, I'm gonna do this, where it really counts is after the magical feeling.
Right.
After the little tingles and I got this and all of that good, like feel good, right?
Right.
The motivation kicks in when it don't feel good anymore. So do you feel like when we talk about motivation, that magical feeling of motivation and that kind of, I almost feel like it's an imaginary way, like we think about it. Do you think the way we think about it being like super inspiring and feel good carries too much weight?
You know what? I thought about that, and I appreciate you sending stuff beforehand so I can think about it. That's awesome. That's OFO. OFO does stuff like that. But, I thought about that, and what I'll say about that is a lot of times the reason why it seems like it's so much weight is because we have a tendency to take on other people's dreams and aspirations as our own. Like I said, with me going back to school, I didn't go back to school because I felt like I needed to do it to impress somebody else, or I needed to do it for somebody else. So even though sometimes I have to make myself get up and do my classwork, at the end of the day, I want to do it. But when you take on somebody else's dreams and aspirations, at first you get that tingly feeling. But then when you realize this ain't what you really wanted to do in the first place, it starts to die off. So I don't think that motivation actually has weight. I think the desire to be successful and the way we pursue that success has weight. That's what I believe.
And then it weighs you down.
And it weighs you down.
I agree with you. Like that is one of the things I preach is that, are you doing this because you want to do it? Because that's step number 1. Like I've seen people, they want to do this. They want to be an entrepreneur. They want to do whatever it is, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. But what they come up with is rooted in somebody else's process.
Exactly.
And therefore, when you get about 3 to 4 or 5 steps in and you start losing some of that motivation because you're like, okay, this is not the feel good part no more, then it drops, right? But I think that nice little magical feeling does carry too much weight because nothing's ever going to be magical all the time. I listened to this Oprah podcast a few weeks ago, and it was a guy, I think it was like The War of Art. He wrote the book, The War of Art. And he talked about as soon as you start pursuing something that really matters to you, that like carries weight in your life, right? It really matters. It's purposeful. It's going to actually mean something, that the first thing you're going to come up against is resistance.
Absolutely.
And so your ability to get through that resistance, right, is what determines how successful you're going to be. And I feel like when you come up to that resistance, that's when true motivation comes in, right? Why are you motivated? How are you motivated? And that's how you get through the areas of resistance.
I agree. And like I said, if it's something that you really didn't want to do to begin with, when that resistance comes, you fall off. But when that resistance comes behind something that you really, really want to do, the tingling feeling is not there. Trust, the tingling feeling is no longer there. And you're pushing yourself to get it done. But at the end of the day, your mind is still, okay, this is why I want to do it. You remind yourself, this is why I want to do it. This is why I want to get it done. You have 150,000 reasons why you want to get it done and why you need to get it done. But if you, like I said, but if you've taken on something that you really didn't want to do in the first place, as soon as that resistance comes, it's like, boom, and it's over. The dream has died.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question that wasn't in the thing I sent you.
Okay,
well. Tell my secrets. Like, oh, she sent me questions. And mind you, half of the questions I sent, I never asked. But it's just the way it is.
Okay.
Right? What do you think are blockers to motivation? Because you said, like, once you come up to that resistance, if it's something you don't want to do, you lose motivation. But I also feel like there are other things like fear, right, that can block. It's almost like a cloud over the motivation, right? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Fears, no's. A lot of people don't want to hear no.
Oof.
And especially when you are trying to be an entrepreneur, you're going to hear the word no a lot.
All the time.
And that to me is one of the main blockers. And one of the main reasons why people don't continue is because of the two that you just said, fear and the word no. You don't want to hear no. You can take a little hard work, but you can't take hard work. And then when you get to a certain level, you hear a no. And then you're like, well, how in the world am I going to get around that? And that is the time when you sit down and you strategize. I never forget when I first started writing my first book, I started writing. And I remember getting on the internet and reading about how to publish and how to do this and how to do that. And I saw so many people talking about they couldn't find a book agent. They couldn't find someone to take them. They couldn't, they kept getting no's. It was years and years before people accepted the book so that it could be published. And I was like, well, listen, I don't work hard on this book and I'm not ready for anybody to tell me no. So this is what I'm going to do. And I started TJ&M Publishing and I self-published. I did it myself. So I found a way around being told no, and I did it myself. And a lot of times when people get a no, they want to give up. And I've read into a lot of people that hear the word no and they give up. And they're like, you know what? It's not meant to be because I heard the word no. And that's just not true. That's just not true.
But why is that? Because I'm the same way, right? When I say I tiptoe around asking, you want to come on? Right? I'm like, why are we so resistant to the word no?
Because no, I think no is like almost like saying it can't be done. In some sort of way, it's almost like no, it can't be done. And it's like a finality to that word no. But to me, when I hear no, I just hear, well, let me try another way. That's just my mind thinking. If I can't come through this door in this direction, I'm going to see if I can sneak into the back door. Or if I can't come on this side, I'm going to see if I can go around to the sliding glass door over here on the left side. That's just me. So I try all different avenues first before I say, you know what, it can't be done. But there are a lot of people who just stop at that no, and they don't continue forward. And I think what they should understand is a no does not mean not ever. Even when God, we pray and we ask God different things, he answers prayers in 3 ways. Yes, no, maybe. I mean, just because I can't have this right now doesn't mean that I can't have it. It just means that I'm going to have to find another way because it may not be the way I need to go. Maybe it's another way. So I don't know. That's a good question though.
No, and while you were talking, I came up with 3 things. I don't know how to get them all out at one time. I'm just going to list them, right? Hearing no as a kid almost meant you were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So you come up with this mentality. You are groomed. I don't want to say groomed. People use that word all kind of ways. Let me change that. You were conditioned that no was bad, right? You start right. No is a bad. Can I have this? No. Why are you asking me? Whatever that was, no was seen as almost getting in trouble a lot as a kid.
Right.
Number 2, we take no's personally, and sometimes they don't have nothing to do with us. Right.
Right.
If I have a coaching client, or if I have a potential coaching client, and they let's say they ghost me, right? Because rarely do people say no, but they'll just ghost you, right? But that may not have anything to do with me. They could have something personally going on. I don't know what happened. So not taking that no personally. And then also the no could mean that's just not good for you at this time. We could feel like, because we have envisioned it, and we have all this passion and this is our purpose. You're going to tell me no to my purpose? Do you not understand? I'm supposed to be a life coach and a career coach, and I'm going to and I got this vision and I'm going to change people's lives and all this stuff. And you had the nerve to tell me no? Who are you?
You're right.
No.
You're
So
right.
that ego as well. But those are the three things that came to me. It's childhood, taking it personally, and the ego.
You're right. And you know what? A lot of people do take that personal. You know, I've heard no so many times. It's not personal. Even like in business, when you hear no, it's not personal. You know, it's business.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'd rather you tell me no. Who is it? Look, I'm all up in the comments.
That's okay.
Sometimes no, it's really just, that's right. That's Amanda. What's up, Amanda? That's right, though. No, it means not right now. And, you know, it's not a finality. It's just, you may need to go back and double check and clean up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I remember my editor, who happens to be on here, when I gave her my book, she looked at it and she called me and she said, She said, you got some errors. And I didn't take it personal. Mm-hmm. You know, she was telling me, no, it's not ready. It's not ready. She didn't say, no, it's not good. I had to condition myself to say, hey, this is not personal. She only has my best interest at heart. Mm-hmm. She wants me to pursue it and do it well and not have to, you know, put it out there and it's trash. So when she gave it back to me, I took the critiques. Mm-hmm. I took the, no, it's not good right now. Fix it. I took that and I changed it. And when I did, I was so happy because it has done really well, you know? So I think the point that you hit about taking it personal, that's really big. You know, we live in an age where people are real sensitive right now. It's gotten worse.
Yeah. And I often wonder too, like, okay, do you guys have friends that will tell you the truth? Because it seems like people get real mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess you got to have this trusting relationship, but it seems like things very superficial because people are very sensitive.
It's you know, we live in a time where people are super sensitive, and you know, I thank God that I still have a friend. We've been friends forever, and you know, she's not even a friend anymore. She's a sister, you know, and she don't mind. Like, she just got on me last week. Like, she don't mind. And you know what? It's never coming from a place of disdain or just being mean to me. It's always coming from a place of love. I don't care how she says it. It's always coming from a place of love. But, you know, to someone that might be a little sensitive and she may say the same thing, they might be like, hey, wait a minute, what are you doing? But to me, I feed off of it. That's how we treat each other, and I feed off of that. And sometimes I wonder about these people, even with my kids. Sometimes I act like, wait a minute, did I raise you? Why are you so sensitive?
I've always been sensitive, but I feel like people are I feel like the smallest things people are sensitive about. I'm like, I'm an emotional person. And I can be sensitive, but I also know, because I've been sensitive all my life, to go in my little corner and I can come back out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'll grant it. I think I've always been one that's been vocal. I mean, we grew up, you know, together, you know. So I've always been loud. I've always been pretty vocal, but I do have sensitive moments. I can be real tender. Believe it or not, I can be tender. And, you know, I'm a crybaby. I'm a water bag.
Well, that's me too.
Yes, I am a water bag, and I will cry at the drop of a dime. But at the same time, I know that this generation now is just overly sensitive, and I cry at the appropriate times, not inappropriate times.
That's what you say. My family say I cry way too much, but we're not gonna go. That's a whole different conversation.
That's another conversation.
I want to bring up this comment from Russell. I think the word no heightens people's insecurities. That's that ego. So they accept the no, and in a sense, they expect to hear, oh, so some people, that is true. So people expecting to hear no, right? And so I think that is also a problem. When you always expect to hear no, then it becomes, like, I want to say, hopeless.
Because you're coming already into a situation with negative thoughts.
Yeah.
It's always, you know, and me, I'm not built like that, and I can't be around people like that. Like, I cannot stand negativity, which is why I'm always putting something positive and motivational out there. because I can't stand negativity. It bothers me to my core. And I think with people like that who have a tendency or expectation to hear no, take a step back and check your surroundings.
Oh,
check the people that you are surrounded by. Because 9 times out of 10, you are surrounded by people who give nothing, breathe nothing, eat nothing, and sleep nothing but negativity.
Oh, yeah. I did a post about that, and I was like, your friends should inspire you. If your friends don't inspire you, in some degree, it doesn't have to be they inspire you to go save the world and become Mother Teresa. And, it's not that, but just inspire you to be a better version of yourself and to believe in yourself. If your friends don't do that, let it go. It ain't worth it.
Mm-mm.
It ain't worth it.
And where I'm at right now in my life, I won't say what age I'm pushing, but where I'm at right now.
I'm beginning at it, but okay.
Where I'm at in my life, like I can't be surrounded by people, who are never going to give me encouragement, who are never going to give me motivation. I can't be surrounded by people like that. So I start pruning back. I start pruning back, which my circle has always been small. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't deal with a lot of people and I have a small circle. But if you're one of those ones who have a large circle, then maybe it's time to start pruning back and start getting rid of those people. And we were just talking, I was just having a conversation with someone about this earlier today, but you got to start feeding people from a long handle spoon. I can be cordial with you. I can be nice to you. We can say hi and bye, and we can, and that be it. But I don't have to go to dinner with you. I don't have to be on the phone with you. I don't have to text you. I can feed you from a long handle spoon. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't let nobody tell you that, because a lot of people, and I say this as a Christian woman, my husband being a pastor, I say this: you do not have to fool with everybody. I don't care what anybody says.
That's so true.
You do not have to fool with everybody. It doesn't make you any less of a Christian. It doesn't make you any less of a good person. You do not have to fool with every single person that you come in contact with, because some people just simply don't mean you any good.
Whew. You know who taught me that?
Who?
My mama. And it started at a young age. And my sister told me this story the other day. She said, like, adults will come up and be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And she wouldn't answer, right? We were very funny acting kids. We still funny acting adults, just to be honest. But she wouldn't say anything. And the woman looks at my mom and say, she not speaking to me. You gonna make her speak to me? She said, she don't know you. You don't gotta speak. She don't gotta speak to you. Who are you? And it's just the point that you don't have to deal with everybody. And I see that at work, right? When I was in a bigger office, and it was like, no, you have coworkers. I have associates that are coworkers, and I have coworkers who are my friends. I don't mix the three. We're not all going out together. And it's important because there are some people who are not happy, and they are trying to rub that off on you, right? They're trying to push that off on you, or they're trying to blame you for it, right? And you have nothing to do with it. So you do have to protect your energy. Now, that don't mean if your friend having a hard time, and I'm one known for having hard times, but if your friend having a hard time and they're not in a good space, that's not the same thing.
No,
right?
It's not. It's not. I have a lot of, moments. Melda can attest to that. I have a lot of moments, and she always pulls me back out of those moments, and I just, but I don't deal with everybody. Even when I was at work, in the hospitals, dealing with so many people, I just don't let like you said, protect my energy.
Yeah,
I protect my energy, because me being mean, and I like to smile, and I like to laugh, and I like to joke, and I like to dance. I just can't have you dragging me down. Like, I can't have people around me dragging me down.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And it can be so easy to get caught up into other people's stuff. We all have a limited amount of energy. So when you're trying to maintain motivation on your own stuff and you start dealing with other people's stuff, you just can't do it all.
Yeah, you're going to fail every single time.
You are. All right. Look, we got a lot of people in the comments, so I'm just going to shout some people out. Kendra Lundy. I think you said Amanda Lundy. I don't know who Lip Girl is, but hey, Lip Girl. Grace Williams, Russell Buds, Tanya Holmes. Thank you all for joining us today. And let us know, and Miss Cleveland Vlogs. King
That's
Day.
Mama.
That's Mama. Hey, Mama.
Oh, King Bear is on. King Bear said you have to love everyone, but everyone is not to have access.
That's
So
so
true.
true.
So true. That's the hugs right there.
You
Dropping
got
nuggets.
Thank you, family reunion. All right. So how can we come when we get to that hard time, right? We get to this, like for me, I have times of creativity and times of high motivation, and then it slumps. How do you regain that motivation? How do you overcome the lack of motivation?
First of all, know that what you're doing or how you're feeling is absolutely normal. It's not abnormal. I think a lot of times we fall out and we think that we're the only one having these feelings, and we're not. Everybody, even some of the most successful people you can think of, have a hard time. You have a hard time. But we always have to remember why it is that we want to do what we want to do. Actually, on my blog this past week, I posted a post called Motives. And it was basically, and without giving too much of it, it was basically saying, why are we doing the things that we do? What are the motives behind the things that we want to do? And when we check our motives at the door, and when we're feeling during those times where, sadness or being down or this is not working, we just remember why it is that I want to do what I want to do. What's the driving force behind that? And like I said, it's nothing unnatural. Everybody feels like this. But it's just, we have to find it in us, find that thing that is driving us, hold on to it and say, you know what, I'm going to get it done. If I got to take it day by day or hour by hour, minute by minute, I got to get it done.
I like that. And you're right. A lot of people, everybody has moments, right, of insecurity or lack of motivation or feeling like it's too much. In the age of social media, you don't see a lot of that, right? So I probably share more than I should on my Facebook because I feel like it's not balanced. It's not balanced.
Brazil, look, I love your transparency. I think it's awesome. When I look at your TikToks and I see your stuff, I'm like, look at Rizelle. I love your transparency. And it's crazy because I don't remember you being this talkative, but I love it. I love it.
Thank you. But I feel like on social media, it's always about the good times, right? The happy times. And it can almost make us feel even more isolated when we feel bad.
You know what? I think, but I like you. I like people being relatable. Because I'm not always happy. I'm not always smiling. And that's the stuff I want to give, especially like in my blogs. I want to give that energy where I'm relatable. Okay, now I see Tara do this because you know as well as I know, social media can be cap. Like, you get on social media and you see these people doing these great things, but they're not telling you what's going on behind the scenes. They're not telling you that they're not getting any sales. They're not telling you that no clients are coming through. They're not telling you that they're crying because they don't got this bill for whatever internet, whatever website company they're using for, and they can't pay the bill. They're not telling you those things. But what's wrong with not telling you this stuff? What's wrong with not saying, hey, I'm struggling. This is why I'm going through this. This is why I'm here. People need that relatability. They need that transparency. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and we learn from it, right? Do you know, like, if you look at things that go viral, I'm going to think of one instance. I'm going to forget her name. John Legend wife, right? She comes out and says, I've had miscarriages, or she's had miscarriages. And you have these moments when people are transparent and it blows up because it's relatable. And all this time you're like, she's just a model who's rich. I can't relate to her. But when people can relate, I feel like it actually does sometimes like hit home, like, oh gosh.
It humanizes them.
Yeah.
It humanizes them. And okay, these are regular people. These are regular people. And I think people can appreciate that more than you just out there making it look like, honey, you are just all that and 17 bags of chips. I think people can appreciate relatability and just transparency. That's why I love your platform, because you always are transparent. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. All right. So we're at the literally last minute. I'm going to ask you, how can we become masters of our own motivation?
Get out of your own head and do not take on anybody else's happiness. Find your own. Whatever happiness looks like to you, whatever level of success looks like to you, you find it and you take it and you grab hold of it because it's yours and nobody else's. But first and foremost, get out of your own head, please.
Oh, I love that. That's so true, though. Get out your own head and define happiness for yourself. And that will keep you motivated, right? Even when you're down, you're like, okay, well, I said I'm going to do this. Let me do it.
Right.
I said I'm going to do. And then I think something else that you said as well was keeping those positive people around you, because they will also help you in those low moments. You have the right people around you, they will definitely help you. So I want you, Tara, to give a quick little, let me bring it up. As Tara says, she does publishing. Can you share a little bit more?
Yes, I publish books basically. I started TJM Publishing because I wanted to publish my own books. But here recently, I just published for a client a children's book. It's called Donovan, the Iceboarding Penguin. It is an ebook, and I'm sorry, I'm going to do a shameless plug. Please get on Amazon.com and grab your ebook of Donovan, the Iceboarding Penguin, and also your copy of Good Morning God. So I have TJM Publishing, which can be found at tjmpublishing.com. And of course, you know, you can hit me up on all my socials, Instagram and Facebook. And of course, the website, and check out the blog. I encourage you, if you do nothing else, check out Motivational Message Monday on the website. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It is awesome. I get contributors to contribute. Rizal, I want you to contribute soon. Okay. So, you know, I just appreciate all this. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate, you know, you just shouting me out and having me here, Rizal. I really appreciate it.
No, this is awesome. So what we will do is, because I was supposed to have some links available, if you can send me your links to the books, the blog, I'll post it in the replay of the show, and this will be posted on Facebook, YouTube, what are all of them, Google, Apple, Spotify, LinkedIn, a lot of places, right? So wherever you found the video, I will put the links to Tara's products and her website and services. So I just want to thank you so much again. This has been so fun. It's been so good to catch up. And I've already have a topic I want to invite you back for, which is how to tell your own story. How to tell your most powerful story. I don't know when we're going to do that, but we're going to get it on the books. Next week, we have MJ Larkin, Miss McCara, and we're going to be talking about our Black stories, right? It's Black History Month. You see the blackity black, black, black. It's somewhere on here.
It's right.
Black and black. So we're going to be talking about our Black stories and how our history, our ancestors, and just our experiences being Black, and how they have empowered us and how they've impacted our lives, and share them with you guys. So thank you, everyone, to tune in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, Tara.
Bye.
Bye.